Last week, we went over essential Ableton key commands, part 1. Here we are at part 2, some of my most essential key commands. Let's get into it. So here we are again with the same session. I've got this track, I did all this automation. If you missed part 1, I'll leave you a link to that. Go down and check that out below in the description. In part 2, let's add a new audio track. Command T, simple as that. Instead of going all the way up, create new audio track, you just hit Command T over and over and over, and you just keep getting consecutive audio tracks. Let's undo that, just like we did in part 1, Command Z, undo. And so that's a quick way to set up audio tracks. You might be asking yourself, well, what if I want a MIDI track? So it's the same thing, just hold Shift. Command Shift T is going to give you new MIDI tracks, and we can easily undo those as well. So let's say I want to make some changes here, and we'll use the deactivate key command we used last time, which is 0. And I like where this is going, but I want to consolidate this. Instead of going up to edit and consolidate, I could just hold Shift and select with my mouse like I taught you last time, and then hit Command J. And now we have a consolidated region with the automation still in place, but notice that the deactivated clips are now gone. So if I was to make any edits or make any adjustments to my loops, I could easily consolidate them into a new loop quickly without even really lifting any fingers, just a few quick clicks in them there. Let's say I want to split these clips though. Command E allows me to split the clip, and then I can just delete it. That would almost be the same thing though as, let me undo that with Command Z, as selecting it and hitting 0. But this way, it doesn't actually deactivate them, it just splits them. So I could slice it and slice it and slice it and slice it to my heart's desire and delete or turn them off. So Command E is how you can split your clips. All right, here's a really good one. I love using this because if you notice right now, my grid is set to a quarter note, but I can easily hold Command and hit 1 or 2 to change my grid size. Now, based on my zoom view, 1 is not doing anything, but if I go to 2, notice my grid is getting bigger. Now I'm on 1, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, and then I go to 1, and it's getting smaller. If I zoom in, my grid can get even smaller, and I can change it with Command 1 and 2. Another thing you can do is you can turn on triplet values and turn it into a triplet grid with Command 3. And then Command 4 is going to turn on and off the grid, so I could do more precise moves like this instead of having it move and lock to the grid. So that is a very handy way of maneuvering the grid. Okay, now let's say I've done a lot with these clips, but I want to rename them. You can easily do that. You can right click and hit rename, or you can just hit Command R and then type in a new name. It's that simple. So this might be slice, and this might be loop 1 or whatever you want. So Command R allows you to quickly and easily adjust your clip names. And then say I've got something I like and I want to duplicate that, and we'll put this on the grid. We're on a 4:1 grid. I could just quickly duplicate that with Command D. And as you can see, because it's on the grid, it's just duplicating it along that grid line. So Command D is a great way to do that. I could do this in batches of 4s, and look, all the automation is going with it. Here's another good one. If you have a mouse like me where you have a wheel, you can hold Shift and move right to left, just like that, without having to even hardly lift any fingers. Now, if I want to consolidate these 2 tracks into, say, a group or a bus, you could do this and right-click and group the tracks. Or, let's undo that, you can just select them and hit Command G. And now you've got a group, and all the tracks that are in this group are easily collapsible, and you can put devices on the bus and process them as a mix bus or a couple track bus, however you like to word it. And that is a quick way to set up groups in Ableton. Now, if I have some MIDI here, I'm just going to make a new MIDI track. Let's pull it out of the group just for fun. And right click here. You could insert an empty MIDI clip or just hit Shift M with the up arrow. So Command Shift M you could just hit Command Shift M and you're going to get a new MIDI. So I could just select this, right click and say insert MIDI clip, or I could go Shift Command M and boom, there's a MIDI clip. Now, if I was to draw in some notes here, just spontaneously, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. Let's say I select all these notes. I can easily select everything by just hitting Command A, and you could do that out here too. So Command A is select all. But let's say I like what I played or I drew in, but I want it an octave below. I can hold Shift and then the down arrow, and now I'm 1 octave down. And the same goes for going up. Just hold Shift and go up. And that is a quick way to shift octaves in your MIDI very easily. So this was part 2 of Essential Ableton Key Commands. Stay tuned next week for part 3. Thank you for watching this video, part 2 of Ableton Essential Key Commands for music production. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. And if you have any questions, be sure to shoot me a comment down below. If you need help with your mastering, check the link below for a free stereo mastered sample I always offer first-time clients. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day.